Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Business Live. Coming up in this bulletin, we will be analyzing the impact of the declining crude oil prices on the country's budget as we seek to get a response to the current global trade war from an economist. Also in this bulletin, President John Mahama sells government's 24-hour economy to businesses from Czech Republic, insisting opportunities abound for partnerships in several sectors of the economy.
The 24-hour economy policy focuses on strategic sectors that present exceptional opportunities for collaboration between Ghanaian and Czech enterprises.
Plus, on the Joy Business Van today, transforming mashed kinky into a corporate sensation. We'll share the story of everything kinky food and smoothie run by entrepreneur Pearl Amankwa Ampofo. We have details of this and more for you. Please stay on. Thanks so much. You could stay on. I am Pius Kojobaka. Looking at our stories, Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nati George, says government will begin implementing the Central Equipment Identity Register to register mobile phones aimed at reducing the smuggling of phones into the country. According to him, statistics indicate that 60% of phones brought into the country are smuggled without payment of taxes. He adds that government will put in place measures to prevent the usage of such phones in the future. He was speaking at a news conference.
But we will go a step further to now do what we call the Central Equipment Identity Register. Now that is a registration not of your SIM, but of your phones. Every phone has an IMEI number, which is global and is a unique identifier, the fingerprint of your phone. And so we're also going to be sending you prompts to do the registration of your phone. Now, there are two reasons why we do this. One is because of national security, to be able to identify the phone and match a phone to a SIM card and know who it is. That's using what SIM card in what phone. But secondly, is also because statistics is showing that almost 60% of phones in the country are smuggled. And no taxes have been paid on them. And so when this register is done, it's easy for you to determine whether the phone that's been sold to you came in legitimately and whether the tax has been paid on it. If the tax has not been paid on it, you can demand of the vendor to pay the tax, because a time will come where if the tax has not been paid, the use of the phone will be impossible. And so there are compliance measures. But you see, the good thing about that is it also helps us to create an opportunity to improve financial inclusion. Because now the access to credit using fintech becomes secured, because fintech operators who are giving loans on phone, who don't get to see you, know that in the case of a default, it's possible to reset your use of your phone.
Meanwhile, he has also announced that a SIM re-registration will begin on July 1. Speaking at a press conference, the minister indicated that his outfit is working hard to counter misinformation and disinformation and fraud.
I have mandated that a team dedicated to building digital dossiers has been working for the past 2 weeks. And so for those who've been engaged in mis and disinformation, know that criminal offense has no limitation of time. We will be going to Parliament as soon as Parliament resumes in May. It's going to be one of the first things I'll lay before Parliament, specialized legislation on fake news. Today, you can choose to extend the reach of the Cybersecurity Act to try and do some prosecution, but it's a very long stretch. And so we're coming in with specialized legislation that will be very respectful of the freedoms of speech. Very respectful of the freedoms of speech. But where the lines are crossed on intentional misinformation or palpable disinformation, the law will be spelled out from Parliament on what the punishment will be.
Away from that, let's now touch on our lead story. Prices of crude oil have dropped to some significant levels, currently selling around $60 a barrel on the international market. The development will bring some pressure on government in terms of projected revenues from the commodity. My colleague George Yafe in the following report highlights other concerns that should get us worried.
Government in the 2025 budget is hoping to get more than $1 billion in revenue from crude exports for this year. Now, that is based on the benchmark price per barrel of $78. However, looking at what is happening to crude oil on the international market, now dropping to about $61, a lot of industry persons are worried about the impact of this development on government's projected revenue by the end of this year as captured in the 2025 budget. This is because several analysts are projecting that because the decline in crude prices are based on demand and fears of the global economy going into a recession, prices could be going down further. But at a time that the country could be hit with some losses in earnings from non-traditional exports because of the import tariff hikes introduced by the U.S. government, this is the last thing that the country could be thinking about. Others have argued that Ghana can be compensated on the other side because this could lead to fuel prices at the pumps going down in Ghana here. And that could also impact on inflation levels and possibly help with the stability of the Ghana cedi.
Now, President John Mahama has justified the removal of the electronic transaction levy, saying it will boost digital financial services in Ghana. Speaking at the Czech-Ghana Business Corporation seminar at the Movenpick Hotel, he said his 24-hour economy policy focuses on strategic sectors that will provide opportunities for collaboration between Ghanaian and Czech enterprises.
In financial and digital services, Ghana is undergoing a rapid digital transformation. The recent repeal of the e-levy on electronic transactions, among other taxes, promises further growth and inclusion in digital financial services. The cutting-edge solutions by Czech companies in fintech, robust cybersecurity frameworks, and sophisticated digital infrastructure development would be invaluable in accelerating this transformation, bridging the digital divide, and further enhancing inclusive financial ecosystems.
Well, he has also maintained that government's 24-hour economy presents a great opportunity for foreign firms to partner with local businesses. He added that there are several sectors of the economy that will offer prudent returns to foreigners, investors, basically. And President Mahama said this at the Czech-Ghana Business Corporation seminar.
The 24-hour economy policy focuses on strategic sectors that present exceptional opportunities for collaboration between Ghanaian and Czech enterprises. In the area of manufacturing, automobile production, and agro-processing, Ghana is steadily positioning itself as a manufacturing hub in West Africa, not only for the West African market, but for Africa as a whole. We readily welcome Czech expertise in machinery, automotive components, and advanced agro-processing technologies to help Ghana add substantial value to our abundant agricultural produce and create integrated supply chains that benefit both our economies.
Talking about the 24-hour economy, Acting Chief Executive for the Ghana Grid Company, Gridco, Engineer Mark Awaba, is pushing for some critical investments into the power sector in order to ensure smooth run of the 24-hour economy policy. According to him, the VRA is capable of ensuring stable supply if the country will make available the needed 400 megawatts of additional power every year for the policy to be successful. Engineer Ban was speaking at the 5th anniversary public lecture by Energy News Africa.
Sometimes, and I know there could be people here who may be totally against nuclear power. That's their thinking. Some might be for something else, but we have to keep our minds opened and plan in such a way that what is the most feasible for this country? At the end of the day, you and I, as customers now, will have to pay for it. In the long term, can Ghanaians pay for it? What is the most attractive for it? Wisdom talked a lot about gas. This is what we have, and whatever we can do to leverage on it for Ghanaians, we need to do it. So we will continue to do planning. We, as you're saying, and industries and things don't evolve just overnight. With time, when we see that we have to change, we change our plans and update our plans. We keep doing it every year. So we will be always up to our responsibility to make sure that our forecasts are as close as possible. They say that every forecaster is a liar, even if he tells the truth. So we'll try to do our best to make sure that the capacity will be there for industry. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of the Independent Power Producers IPP's Eleplim Apetogbo believes Ghana is behind in using technology to transform the power sector. He called for more collaborative efforts among stakeholders to provide power to industries.
Peak demand is almost catch up with the installed capacity that we have. And to bring in additional capacity, for instance, the 400 megawatt he talks about, requires planning like 3 years back. We are caught up with time, we are behind schedule. And my concern has to be with the speed at which we can fix the sector to enable additional investment to come in. Let me say that we are behind schedule with regards to technology. Sorry to say that today we still go after customers to pay their electricity bills. We are behind schedule. In developed countries or some developing countries, every one consumption or account of electricity consumption is linked to their either Momo accounts or bank accounts. That you don't have access to electricity when your light goes off unless payment is made. So we have to look at how prepared we are before adding new capacity or additional generations to it. Yes, demand is growing. He said it's at a speed of light. There is nothing that can stop it.
So watching Business Life, we are back with the Joy Businessman. Hello, welcome back. Let's now take the Joy Businessman. At first glance, it may seem like a humble dish, but entrepreneur Pearl Amankwampofo has turned mashed kinky, also known as iced kinky, into a thriving business. With her innovative twist, she's created a kinky smoothie, a trend that is quickly captivating corporate institutions. Today on the Joy Business Van, the story of everything kinky food and smoothie. Enjoy.
Hi Joy Business Van, my name is Pearl Amankwampofo and I'm the CEO of Everything Kinky Food and Smoothie.
Kinky is a Ghanaian staple from the Ga and Fanti inhabited communities on the coastline areas. It is made from corn. It is also used to prepare the popular Ghanaian beverage mashke or ice kinky, which essentially is mashing and sweetening the kinky. It's usually sold on the streets, but can easily be made from home.
There was one time I was on campus, on Legon campus, and I fell for ice kinky, my roommate and I. So I entered the kitchen one time and I had the idea to mix banana or fruits with ice kinky. Initially, it didn't really sit well, but I said, let me give it a try. So I tried it and I added milk, and it went so well, and my roommates were enjoying it. Then I had the idea that I could do this and use it as a business, because after school, you don't even know what holds for you out there.
Pearl was then studying public administration at the university, but she started experimenting with the idea of selling mashed kinky in school. She would sell to her friends and family. After school, Pearl got a job with a bank, but her desire to do business was strong, so she quit to concentrate on producing her kinky smoothie. That was in 2021. The period of experimentation allowed Pearl to come up with different recipes for her kinky smoothie. But how was she making her mashke unique?
I actually used fruits because I wanted to be more healthy about this whole idea. Apparently, I have also realized that people are now trying to check their diet and keep and taking product or food that will keep them healthy. So I saw that was people's demand, and I said, why don't I get fruits or products or items that are healthy to add to the mashke. When I started, I came up with banana yogurt. Then from there, it came to the coconut flakes. Then I got the other recipe that's chocolate, that's choco vanilla. Then I got oats and Oreos, that's oats mixed with Oreo biscuits. Then the final flavor is soya and millet, that's soya milk and millet mixed together in the ice kinky.
Pearl has got people hooked onto her kinky smoothie, her target corporate institutions and restaurants. Now, what is usually considered a street beverage has been made classy. She's currently able to produce 800 bottles a month. While Pearl is making progress, it has not been an easy road.
Trust me, it was not easy because, one, it's a product that is new to people. So one of the challenge I had was people didn't want to try because it sounded like mashke to them. So they just didn't want to hear the idea of mashke because everybody knows how mashke is. Until they get to taste and they realize it's a different level of mashke.
Perhaps the most challenging experience for Pearl was the fermentation of her products. That's the risk of the business, and clients were complaining.
I was not getting a good plug who was giving me the right kinky, but I did all I could to get the right person. And I had people, sometimes it gets to some customers, it has gone bad. And I also didn't have a big freezer where I could refrigerate it. So I used to struggle with that a lot. So that has been my challenge. I got frustrated too at some point and I kind of gave up.
Pearl nearly quit the business.
There was one time I produced about 500 bottles for a customer and they all went bad. Like every single one of them went bad. So it broke me because that was a lot of money that I was losing. I had to use my own money to produce another set for the person again.
Over time, Pearl discovered a new kinky source. She started getting celebrity endorsements, which opened more market opportunities for her. She believes her kinky smoothie can become an international beverage.
I have bigger ideas of how to make the product go to other parts of the world. It's all about funding, but I am trusting the process because I'm still getting to know some things. I learn from people, that entrepreneurs who are doing it, who are making it all over the world in Ghana here, and I learn from them, and I'm learning the process bit by bit till I get to that point where I'm looking for. So that is the aim for this product or this business.
For now, it is a step at a time for everything Kenkey food and smoothie.
You're still watching Business Life with me, Pius Kojo-Baka. We want to go back to our earlier story about crude oil prices dropping. I want to make sense out of that on Ghana's budget, etc. Let's get onto Zoom quickly and speak to Dr. Theo Champong, an economist, for some analysis on this issue. First off, George told us some worrying trend, and I'm also curious whether you're also worried about this decline in crude prices and its impact on government's revenue.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, for the last few years, at least we've been getting about $1 billion of revenue every year from petroleum sector. And with the prices kind of dropping because of the trade wars and all that is going on the world now with rising protectionism, there's potential for that to impact our economic prospect and recovery. At the moment, the price forecast that I've seen indicate that we could end the year at between $55 and about $60 a barrel on the low side. And what that then would mean that instead of getting $1+ billion, potentially we'll have to get about 700 or 800 million, thereabouts. And this is with a caveat that we are not going to be increasing our oil output anytime soon. Our output currently stands around 130,000 barrels a day, and that would not change. So really, the only thing that would make a change to our revenue prospect is the price staying where it is or going up. And at the moment, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
For you, what should be government's response?
I think the challenge continues to remain how we diversify the economy. We've been talking about this for God knows how many years now. But at the moment, in terms of revenue, petroleum constitutes roughly about 2% of our total GDP. So it would not have a huge impact in terms of creating a fiscal hole. We can mitigate or manage that. We're not talking or dealing with the 2014-15 levels where price dropped, ridiculously low. And at one point, we got about $250 million in terms of revenue. I still think we'll get a decent amount, 700, 800, thereabouts. But the question really becomes more medium to long term, how you're able to grow the economy, how you're able to ensure that you're diversifying the economic base and you've built enough buffers and shocks and also have different trading partners that allows you to be able to bring in more revenue and more jobs for the people. So there are no quick fixes with what I'm saying, but rather we need to do a lot of the hard work.
Dr. Theo Champong, thank you so much for your input this very moment. I truly appreciate it. He's an economist speaking to us. Still watching Business Life, and that's our part company here on the program. Let's connect at 8 p.m. with Prime Business.